Good morning slash afternoon slash evening slash that's great. Today, I want to talk about improvement. We all have aspirations, whether it's in our careers, our personal lives, or simply becoming the best version of ourselves. But too often, we are caught up in the idea of perfection, trying to get everything right. What if I told you that the real secret to success isn't perfection, but progress? To start with purpose is to understand that everything you do must be rooted in a deeper reason. It's not just about going through the motions of life or completing tasks without reflection. Purpose gives everything meaning. It turns the mundane into something meaningful, the routine into a ritual, and the challenges into opportunities. Without purpose, you can easily become disoriented, lost in the busyness of life, and overwhelmed by the sheer number of things you should be. Having a clear purpose forces you to ask yourself deeper questions. Why am I pursuing this goal? What do I want to contribute to the world? How does this effort align with my values and vision? When you answer these questions with honesty, it provides the clarity and motivation to persevere through the inevitable hardships. Purpose is what helps you navigate uncertainty, because it acts as your compass, guiding you when external factors seem confusing or chaotic. Purpose doesn't always have to be grand or world-changing. It simply has to resonate with you. It can be as personal as improving your health, mastering a skill, or fostering deeper relationships with those around you. The power of purpose is that it connects your actions to something that gives you meaning, driving you to be better not because you have to, but because you truly want to. When you start with purpose, you're also defining your why, the reason you show up every day. It's not about comparing yourself to others or seeking validation from external sources. Instead, purpose centers you on what truly matters to you, which keeps you grounded during moments of doubt or fatigue. The clarity of purpose pushes you to get back up each time you fall, knowing that you are working towards something greater than the immediate challenge at hand. Without purpose, it's easy to get distracted, to lose sight of the bigger picture, or to make decisions based on short-term desires. Purpose serves as a filter. It helps you decide what is worth your time, energy, and attention. It shapes how you view challenges and setbacks, reminding you that obstacles are not failures, but opportunities to learn and grow on your path toward fulfilling your purpose. Ultimately, starting with purpose means living intentionally. It's about taking control of your direction, ensuring that each step you take is aligned with the vision you hold for yourself. Purpose gives you the resilience to overcome obstacles, the clarity to make decisions, and the motivation to keep moving forward even when things are tough. When your purpose is clear, you no longer wonder why you are doing what you are doing. You know, deep down, that every effort is moving you closer to a life that feels fulfilling, meaningful, and true to who you are. Progress over perfection is a mindset that encourages you to focus on moving forward rather than being paralyzed by the fear of not getting everything perfect. Perfectionism often creates a barrier that makes you hesitate, procrastinate, or abandon projects altogether. The idea that everything must be flawless before you take action holds you back from even starting. It causes unnecessary stress and distracts you from the bigger picture. For example, but when you choose progress over perfection, you shift your perspective to embrace growth rather than the impossible standard of flawlessness. The truth is, perfection doesn't exist in the way we often envision it. Even the most successful individuals, the most polished businesses, or the most brilliant ideas are never free from mistakes, flaws, or imperfection. It's the willingness to learn from those mistakes and keep pushing forward that leads to success. Progress, on the other hand, acknowledges that you don't have to get everything right on the first try. It allows you to celebrate small wins, the little steps that lead to larger results. By prioritizing progress, you free yourself from the constraints of perfectionism, and instead, you adopt a more forgiving and flexible approach to your goals. Every day offers an opportunity to take one step further, no matter how small, toward your desired outcome. It's not about the grandiose leaps. It's about taking consistent, meaningful actions, that accumulate over time, the process becomes more important than the end result, and that focus enables you to enjoy the journey rather than constantly worrying about the destination. When you embrace progress, you give yourself permission to experiment, to try new things, and to fail along the way. Perfectionism often stifles creativity because it makes you afraid to take risks or step into the unknown. Progress, however, encourages innovation and experimentation because it views failure as part of the learning process, not as something to avoid at all costs. Each misstep becomes a lesson that propels you forward rather than something that defines your worth. Focusing on progress also helps you maintain momentum. When you constantly strive for perfection, you might find yourself stuck in the planning stages, never taking meaningful action. You'll waste time overanalyzing every decision and trying to fine-tune every detail. But when you shift your focus to progress, you become more action-oriented. Even if you make mistakes along the way, you're still moving, still evolving, and still improving. Momentum comes from doing, from taking the next step, even if it's not perfect. Perfection often leads to frustration and burnout because the unattainable goal always seems just out of reach. It creates a cycle where you never feel satisfied with your achievements, always believing you could have done better or that it's not good enough. Progress, on the other hand, is satisfying because it recognizes that any effort is a success. Each effort is one more piece of the puzzle, and eventually all the pieces will fit together in their own time. Consistency is the bedrock of achievement, the quiet force that shapes progress in every area of life. It's the small, steady actions that accumulate over time, shaping your habits, your skills, and your results. Success is rarely the product of a single extraordinary effort. Instead, it comes from showing up every day, doing the work, even when you don't feel like it, and pushing through the days when motivation seems absent. If you can consistently play day after day in the boggin of day to day, consistency is about creating a rhythm, a pattern that becomes a part of who you are, and this rhythm is what drives long-term results. Consistency is about driving long-term results. When you are consistent, you build momentum. Each action you take builds on the previous one, creating a cycle of improvement. It's not about how much you accomplish in a day, but the fact that you are consistently making progress. Think of a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, almost unnoticeable, but as it continues to roll, it picks up speed and grows in size. Consistency is that steady, continuous action that allows you to build something significant over time. Consistency also helps to turn actions into habits. The more you repeat a behavior, the more it becomes ingrained in your routine, and eventually it feels effortless. This is why consistency is crucial for personal growth. It's what transforms intentional actions into automatic behaviors. It's the reason successful people make their daily practices non-negotiable, whether it's exercising, reading, or planning their day. These habits, created through consistency, are the foundation for long-term success because they remove the need for constant decision-making. Consistency eliminates doubt and hesitation. It becomes a way of living. The power of consistency lies in its simplicity. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of grand goals, to believe that only monumental efforts will bring about change. But consistency teaches you that small, repeated actions are just as powerful, if not more so, than those rare moments of brilliance. By showing up every day, you lay down the groundwork for success, one step at a time. Even if those steps seem small or insignificant in the moment, they add up over time, creating a compound effect that leads to substantial growth. Consistency also helps to build resilience. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when obstacles appear insurmountable, and when results seem slow. But consistency teaches you to keep going, even when things aren't moving as quickly as you would like. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up despite setbacks. This steady approach makes it easier to weather the difficult times because you've established a habit of persistence. Without consistency, it's easy to fall into the trap of starting something new and abandoning it when the initial excitement fades. Many people are familiar with the cycle of beginning a project or setting a goal, only to let it slip away because the enthusiasm waned. But when consistency is part of your mindset, you shift from being a starter to being a finisher. The key is not in the bursts of motivation that come and go, but in the quiet, unrelenting commitment to doing the work every single day, even when the external rewards seem distant. And consistency is also what keeps you aligned with your purpose. In the early stages of any endeavor, it's easy to feel driven by passion and excitement, but that energy can fade over time. However, consistency keeps you connected to your deeper why. It serves as a reminder that your efforts, no matter how small, are bringing you closer to your goals. By consistently showing up, you continue to honor the reason you started in the first place. At its core, consistency is about trust. Trust in the process and trust in yourself. It's the belief that over time, your efforts will bear fruit. Trusting the process means that you don't need immediate results to stay motivated. Instead, you rely on the knowledge that the effort you put in today will have a cumulative effect in the future. This trust allows you to stay focused on the journey without becoming discouraged by short-term obstacles. Embracing discomfort is one of the most powerful tools for growth and transformation. It's easy to seek comfort, to stay in the familiar and the safe. Our minds are wired to avoid pain, discomfort, and uncertainty because they signal potential danger. Yet, in doing so, we often miss out on the most valuable opportunities for development. Discomfort is the territory where growth happens. It's where you challenge your limits, redefine your boundaries, and unlock your true potential. Every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you push yourself to face uncertainty and vulnerability. The more you embrace this discomfort, the more you learn to thrive in it, and eventually it becomes less intimidating. You begin to see that discomfort is not a sign of weakness, but an invitation to grow. It's the sign that you are stretching, evolving, and becoming more than you were yesterday. The growth you experience from embracing discomfort often extends beyond the initial challenge. It changes your mindset, your confidence, and your approach to life. Discomfort can manifest in many forms. It might be taking on a new, challenging project, having difficult conversations, or pushing yourself physically beyond your limits. Whatever the form, discomfort forces you to confront what you fear, what you're avoiding, and what makes you anxious. It exposes the gaps between where you are now and where you want to be. While this may feel unsettling, it's important to recognize that this unease is precisely what sparks growth. The discomfort you feel is not a roadblock, it is the path. The beauty of discomfort is that it's temporary. It's an inevitable part of the process, a phase that, once passed, leaves you stronger, more capable, and better equipped for future challenges. The initial discomfort fades, leaving behind new skills, new perspectives, and a deeper sense of resilience. The more you face discomfort, the less you fear it. It becomes a signal that you're on the verge of something important, whether it's a personal breakthrough, a new level of performance, or a fresh understanding of yourself. By embracing discomfort, you develop emotional and mental fortitude. When life is too comfortable, it's easy to become complacent, to settle into routines that require little effort or risk. Comfort lulls you into a false sense of security where growth stagnates. But when you welcome discomfort, you train yourself to endure challenges and face adversity with a sense of purpose. It's this resilience that allows you to thrive when others might falter. You learn that discomfort is not something to avoid, but a signal that you're moving in the right direction, that you're actively pursuing something that matters. Discomfort also helps you build self-discipline. When you're doing something that's hard, that challenges you, you learn to control your impulses and push through when everything inside of you wants to give up. This discipline is a muscle that strengthens every time you push yourself beyond what feels comfortable. It becomes the driving force that carries you through moments of uncertainty, doubt, and fatigue. Discomfort encourages you to keep going even when the end result feels far off. When you make a habit of embracing discomfort, it shifts the way you view failure. Failure no longer feels like something to fear or avoid. Instead, it becomes part of the process. Discomfort is often accompanied by failure, but failure is simply a byproduct of pushing boundaries, of trying something new and ambitious. Rather than seeing failure as an end, you begin to see it as a lesson. an experience that brings you closer to your goal. Each failure teaches you something valuable about yourself, your strategies, and your approach. Embracing discomfort also means recognizing that personal growth is not a linear path. There will be peaks and valleys, times of ease and times of struggle, but the key is understanding that every time you choose discomfort, you are choosing growth. This mindset shift allows you to look at challenges with curiosity rather than resistance. You stop avoiding the tough moments and start seeking them out because you understand that this is where the magic happens. And guess what happens? You get better. Whether it's facing the unknown or pushing through physical or mental barriers, discomfort is the space where your greatest potential lies waiting to be realized. Developing a growth mindset is a transformative shift in how you approach challenges, learning, and success. It is the understanding that abilities and intelligence are not fixed traits, but can be cultivated and developed over time with effort, perseverance, and a willingness to learn. People with a growth mindset see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to grow and improve. They understand that intelligence and talent are just starting points, and that real progress comes from the effort you put into developing and expanding those abilities. When you adopt a growth mindset, you become more open to feedback. Rather than taking criticism personally, you see it as a tool for learning and improvement. Feedback, both positive and negative, provides insight into areas where you can grow. You begin to view challenges as something to embrace, not something to avoid. The fear of failure diminishes because failure is no longer something to be ashamed of. Instead, it becomes a necessary and valuable part of the learning process. You understand that failing doesn't define you, it's simply a step toward mastery. A growth mindset also reshapes your perception of effort. Instead of believing that effort is a sign of inadequacy or a lack of talent, you come to see effort as a crucial ingredient in achieving success. People with a growth mindset believe that the harder they work, the more they improve. This leads to a greater level of persistence because they understand that success is a journey, not a destination. When things don't come easily, they don't give up. They double down on their efforts, knowing that each attempt, each setback, is making them better in the long run. With a growth mindset, you become more resilient in the face of adversity. Instead of succumbing to frustration or disappointment when things go wrong, you take those moments as learning experiences. You recognize that growth often involves struggle and that the most valuable lessons are often learned through the toughest experiences. Each failure, each setback is an opportunity to refine your skills, adjust your approach, and grow stronger. When you develop a growth mindset, you stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as stepping stones to your ultimate success. This mindset also influences how you view the success of others. Instead of feeling threatened or discouraged by the achievements of others, you begin to see their success as proof that improvement is possible. You look at others who excel not with envy, but with curiosity, wondering what they did to reach that level of success. You become inspired by their accomplishments rather than intimidated by them, and this inspiration fuels your own drive for improvement. A growth mindset enables you to embrace the concept of lifelong learning. You no longer see learning as something that ends with formal education or that has an endpoint. Instead, learning becomes an ongoing process, one that is essential to personal and professional growth. Whether you're acquiring new skills, gaining knowledge, or refining existing talents, the idea that you can always improve keeps you constantly engaged and motivated. The belief that you can always become better, that you can always learn something new, drives you to constantly seek new opportunities for growth. Furthermore, developing a growth mindset encourages you to take risks. It removes the fear of failure that often holds people back from trying something new. When you view challenges as opportunities to expand your abilities, you become more willing to take on new projects or ventures, even if the outcome is uncertain. The willingness to step into the unknown, to experiment, and to push your boundaries is a key part of personal development. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead take action, knowing that the journey itself will teach you what you need to succeed. In essence, developing a growth mindset is about shifting your beliefs about yourself and your abilities. It's about believing that no matter where you start, you can always improve, and that improvement comes through effort, persistence, and learning from both successes and failures. A growth mindset frees you from the limits of self-doubt and fear, encouraging you to step into your potential and constantly evolve. With this mindset, the pursuit of mastery becomes less about achieving perfection and more about embracing the ongoing process of becoming better every day. Focusing on what you can control is one of the most powerful strategies for living a fulfilling and productive life. Life is filled with uncertainties and challenges that are beyond our influence, and it's easy to become overwhelmed by these external factors. We often spend too much energy on things that we can't change, whether it's the actions of others, the outcome of events, or the twists and turns of circumstances. This sense of powerlessness can lead to frustration, anxiety, and burnout. However, when you focus on what you can control, you redirect your attention and energy toward the things that truly matter. Those areas where your efforts can make a tangible difference. The first thing you can control is your mindset. How you choose to perceive and react to situations is entirely within your power. Life will throw difficult moments at you, but your response to these challenges is something you can always influence. You can choose to react with frustration, resentment, or fear, or you can choose to approach the situation with resilience, optimism, and calm. Your mindset shapes the way you navigate the world, and by consciously choosing how you respond, you give yourself the ability to transform the experience into something constructive rather than allowing it to dictate your emotional state. Another crucial aspect of control lies in your actions. While you can't control everything that happens to you, you have the ability to decide what you do in response. This means choosing how you spend your time, what goals you set for yourself, and what steps you take to move forward. Every decision you make, no matter how small, contributes to shaping your life. By focusing on taking deliberate, meaningful actions that align with your values and goals, you empower yourself to create the future you desire. Whether it's dedicating time to personal growth, working on your career, or fostering better relationships, your actions are the key to creating the life you want. You can also control your habits. The daily routines and rituals you establish have a profound impact on your overall well-being and success. By cultivating positive habits, such as regular exercise, healthy eating, consistent learning, and mindfulness, you build a foundation that supports your growth. These habits, when practiced consistently, create a cumulative effect that contributes to your long-term success. Rather than waiting for external circumstances to change, you can take charge of the actions that you repeat every day, knowing that they will eventually shape your future. Additionally, you can control the energy you bring into any situation. Our energy, our attitude, and our presence are things we can manage. You have the ability to decide how much emotional and mental energy you dedicate to each task, interaction, and challenge. Focusing on what you can control means channeling your energy into things that bring you closer to your goals, that lift your spirits, and that positively impact those around you. When you're mindful of the energy you invest in situations, you are more likely to stay focused, calm, and productive, rather than feeling drained by things outside of your control. Your relationships are another area where you have influence. While you cannot control how others behave, you can control how you show up in your interactions with them. You can decide to be patient, understanding, and compassionate, or you can choose to be reactive, distant, or disengaged. The way you communicate, the level of empathy you offer, and the effort you put into nurturing your relationships are all things within your control. By focusing on what you can control in your relationships, you contribute to a healthier, more supportive social environment, which in turn positively impacts your well-being. You also have control over your self-care. Your physical, mental, and emotional health are directly influenced by the choices you make. The time you allocate for rest, relaxation, exercise, and nutrition plays a vital role in how you feel and how effectively you can pursue your goals. By focusing on your well-being and ensuring that you are in the best possible state to face life's challenges, you set yourself up for success. When you prioritize self-care, you build resilience, energy, and clarity, all of which help you maintain the strength to keep moving forward despite external uncertainties. Focusing on what you can control also involves letting go of what you cannot. It requires the wisdom to recognize that there will always be factors beyond your reach, no matter how much you may want to influence them. Letting go of the need to control the uncontrollable frees you from unnecessary stress and frustration. Instead of worrying about what might go wrong or what is outside of your influence, you can focus your attention on what you can change, what you can improve, and how you can evolve. This shift in focus reduces anxiety and fosters a sense of peace because it empowers you to direct your energy toward meaningful, productive actions. At the heart of focusing on what you can control is the recognition that your power lies in your choices. Every decision you make, no matter how seemingly insignificant, is a step in the direction of the life you want to create. When you focus on controlling the things that you have the ability to influence, you step into your personal power. You realize that while the world around you may be unpredictable, you can always choose how you respond, how you act, and how you grow. This mindset transforms your approach to life, helping you stay grounded, focused, and empowered to create the outcomes you desire. Seeking continuous feedback is a vital practice for growth and improvement, both personally and professionally. It's the process of actively seeking input, insights, and perspectives from others to help you see where you can refine your skills, enhance your performance, and make better decisions. Feedback is often viewed as a source of criticism or judgment, but when approached with the right mindset, it becomes a tool for learning and development. By seeking continuous feedback, you open yourself up to new ideas, perspectives, and ways of thinking that can propel you forward in ways you might not have considered. One of the most powerful aspects of feedback is that it helps you become more self-aware. Often we operate based on our own perceptions of ourselves and our abilities, but these perceptions can be limited or biased. Feedback from others provides a more objective viewpoint, helping you identify strengths you may not have recognized and areas for improvement that you might have overlooked. This self-awareness is crucial because it gives you a clear understanding of where you currently stand, and it offers a roadmap for how to evolve and reach your full potential. Feedback also provides an opportunity to learn from mistakes and failures in real time. Instead of dwelling on setbacks or frustrations, you can use feedback to assess what went wrong, why it happened, and how you can adjust your approach moving forward. This process of learning from feedback fosters a growth mindset where failure is no longer seen as a reflection of your limitations, but as an essential part of the learning process. It empowers you to make corrections and keep progressing rather than becoming discouraged by obstacles. Seeking continuous feedback requires humility and a willingness to accept that there's always room for improvement. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you know everything or that your way is the best way. However, by actively seeking feedback, you acknowledge that there are always opportunities to learn from others, whether they're peers, mentors, or even people who may not share the same experience or background. This openness to input helps you stay adaptable, ready to adjust your approach based on new information or changing circumstances. Moreover, regular feedback encourages accountability. When you ask for feedback, you're committing to making improvements based on the information you receive. This sense of responsibility helps you stay focused on your goals and keeps you motivated to work on the areas that need attention. Knowing that you will receive feedback on your progress keeps you engaged and ensures that you're consistently taking steps to refine your skills and grow. Feedback is also a powerful tool for building trust and improving relationships. By seeking input from others, you show that you value their opinions and perspectives. This creates a collaborative environment where open communication is encouraged and it fosters mutual respect. People are more likely to offer constructive feedback when they feel that their input is appreciated and that it's being used to help improve outcomes. This exchange of feedback creates a dynamic of continuous learning, both for you and for the people around you. Another key benefit of seeking continuous feedback is that it keeps you on track toward your long-term goals. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to lose sight of your objectives or to stray off course. Feedback serves as a reminder of your progress and provides guidance on how to stay aligned with your vision. Whether it's feedback from a supervisor on a project at work or feedback from a friend about personal growth, it helps you adjust your actions and stay focused on what truly matters. Regular feedback ensures that you're not just working hard, but that you're working smart and moving in the right direction. By continuously seeking feedback, you also develop the ability to give and receive constructive criticism more effectively. You learn to communicate in ways that encourage honesty and openness, which leads to more meaningful exchanges. It becomes easier to understand that feedback is not an attack, but an opportunity for growth. This shift in perspective helps you view criticism in a positive light, as something that contributes to your improvement, rather than something to be feared or avoided. One of the biggest challenges in seeking feedback is managing the emotions that may arise when receiving it. It can be difficult to hear criticism, especially when it touches on something you care deeply about or when you've invested a lot of effort into a project. However, when you actively seek feedback, you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally to hear both positive and negative comments. With practice, you develop resilience, learning to separate your sense of self-worth from the feedback itself. This detachment allows you to view the feedback objectively and use it to improve, rather than letting it discourage you. Incorporating continuous feedback into your routine also encourages innovation. As you receive diverse perspectives, you're exposed to new ways of thinking, problem solving, and approaching challenges. This influx of ideas can spark creativity and inspire fresh solutions that you might not have arrived at on your own. Feedback fosters a culture of curiosity and experimentation where you feel empowered to try new things and push boundaries, knowing that you can adjust based on the insights you receive. Finally, seeking feedback continuously is a lifelong practice. It's not something that you do once and then stop. It's an ongoing process that helps you stay in touch with your evolution. As you change and grow, the type of feedback you seek will also evolve, helping you refine your skills and reach new levels of performance. By embracing feedback as a constant companion on your journey, you create a cycle of perpetual growth that helps you reach your goals and fulfill your potential. Measuring progress, not perfection, is a fundamental shift in perspective that can dramatically improve how you approach goals, challenges, and personal growth. Often people set high standards for themselves, aiming for perfection in every task or aspect of their lives. While striving for excellence is important, the pursuit of perfection can lead to frustration, burnout, and feelings of inadequacy. And the key to sustained growth and success is understanding that progress, not perfection, is what truly matters. By measuring how far you've come, rather than how flawless your performance is, you can celebrate the small victories that add up over time and stay motivated throughout the process. When you focus on progress, you begin to recognize that every step you take, no matter how small, is part of the larger journey. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success must come in big, dramatic leaps, but in reality, progress is often made through consistent, incremental improvements. Every action you take, every effort you put in, contributes to your overall growth. Whether it's improving a skill, learning a new concept, or overcoming a challenge, the key is to measure these small achievements and acknowledge the forward movement they represent. By focusing on progress, you shift the emphasis from a destination to the process itself. This means valuing the lessons learned along the way, the new insights gained, and the resilience developed through overcoming obstacles. Progress is often messy and non-linear, and it can be difficult to track if you're constantly fixated on perfection. When you release the expectation of perfection, you free yourself to experiment, try new things, and adjust your approach without the fear of failure or judgment. You start to appreciate the value in every part of the journey, including the mistakes and detours, because they all contribute to your growth. Moreover, measuring progress encourages patience. It's easy to become discouraged when results don't appear immediately or when things don't go as planned. Perfectionism often comes with the pressure to perform flawlessly from the start, leading to self-criticism and disappointment when things fall short. However, when you measure progress, you give yourself the grace to acknowledge that growth takes time. You recognize that the path to mastery is filled with trial and error, and that each step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goals. This mindset allows you to stay committed even when immediate results aren't apparent. Focusing on progress also helps you stay grounded in reality. Perfection, by its very nature, is unattainable and subjective. What's considered perfect can vary from person to person, and the standards you set for yourself might be influenced by unrealistic expectations. When you measure progress, you anchor yourself in what is actually achievable, allowing you to set realistic goals and celebrate tangible achievements. You can look back at how far you've come and appreciate the improvements you've made without getting caught in an endless cycle of comparison or self-criticism. Another benefit of measuring progress is that it helps you stay motivated. When the focus is on perfection, it's easy to become disheartened when you don't meet the ideal you've set for yourself. However, when you measure progress, you're able to see the concrete ways in which you've improved, which reinforces your belief in your ability to continue moving forward. Recognizing progress provides positive reinforcement and a sense of accomplishment, fueling your drive to keep going. Motivation comes from within rather than relying on external validation or the unrealistic expectation of perfection. Measuring progress also enhances your ability to adjust and adapt. When you focus on progress, you make space for reflection and recalibration. Instead of rigidly adhering to a specific plan or outcome, you stay flexible, understanding that your path might need to change as you learn and grow. Progress-based thinking encourages you to assess what's working, what's not, and what needs to be improved. It encourages an iterative approach where each effort builds upon the last, and each new piece of feedback helps refine your approach. Moreover, focusing on progress allows you to cultivate a growth mindset. Rather than seeing setbacks or challenges as failures, you start to view them as part of the process. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to learn and improve rather than a reason to quit or give up. Measuring progress reinforces the idea that growth is continuous and that perfection isn't the goal. This mindset shift helps you approach every challenge with a sense of curiosity and resilience, knowing that progress will come with time and consistent effort. When you start measuring progress, you begin to embrace the idea of continuous development. Success is no longer defined by achieving a perfect end result, but by the ongoing commitment to getting better one step at a time. It's about evolving, refining your skills, and expanding your knowledge. You realize that the process itself holds value and that every small improvement is worth celebrating. Progress becomes the reward, not the completion of a perfect vision. Furthermore, when you measure progress, you cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude for where you are right now. Often we get so focused on where we want to be that we forget to acknowledge how much we've already achieved. Focusing on progress encourages you to look at how far you've come rather than how far you still have to go. This gratitude for your journey helps you appreciate the hard work you've put in and the lessons you've learned, which in turn builds confidence and self-compassion. Ultimately, measuring progress instead of perfection is about embracing the idea that growth is a journey, not a destination. It's about appreciating the process, staying motivated through the ups and downs, and recognizing that improvement, no matter how incremental, is what leads to long-term success. By releasing the need for perfection and focusing on progress, you free yourself to take action, learn from experience, and celebrate every step you take toward becoming the person you aspire to be. Celebrating small wins is a practice that has the potential to shift the way you approach challenges and accomplishments. Often, we become so focused on the big goals and outcomes that we overlook the small steps that lead to success. However, it's the small wins, the moments where progress is made, where effort is recognized, or where obstacles are overcome, that truly build momentum over time. By celebrating these small wins, you acknowledge your efforts, boost your motivation, and create a positive cycle of growth that drives you forward. When you celebrate small wins, you give yourself the opportunity to pause and reflect on what you've accomplished. Each win, no matter how minor it may seem, represents a step closer to your ultimate goal. Whether it's finishing a task, reaching a milestone, or overcoming a challenge, these small victories are the building blocks of success. By taking the time to acknowledge them, you reinforce the idea that every bit of progress counts and that even small efforts are worth celebrating. This simple act of recognition fuels your motivation and reminds you that every step forward is significant, no matter how small it may appear. Celebrating small wins also helps to build momentum. When you recognize and celebrate your achievements along the way, you create positive reinforcement that propels you toward the next goal. Momentum is a powerful force. It's the energy that keeps you moving even when the road ahead seems long or uncertain. By acknowledging your progress regularly, you create a sense of accomplishment that propels you into the next task, project, or challenge with renewed energy and enthusiasm. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the larger goals you set for yourself, but when you break them down into smaller, manageable wins and celebrate them, you reinforce the idea that progress is continuous and achievable. Furthermore, celebrating small wins helps to shift your mindset. Often we're quick to focus on what's left to be done or what hasn't been achieved yet. We tend to set our sights on the end goal, constantly measuring ourselves against an ideal rather than appreciating the journey. By celebrating small wins, you train yourself to focus on the progress you've made, rather than the distance still to cover. This shift in focus creates a more positive and fulfilling experience where you find joy in the process rather than only in the outcome. It encourages you to stay present and engaged with the steps you're taking rather than constantly waiting for the final result. In addition, celebrating small wins cultivates a sense of gratitude and self-compassion. Often we can be our harshest critics, pointing out what we haven't done or how we could have done better. Celebrating even the smallest achievements encourages you to be kinder to yourself, recognizing the effort, dedication, and persistence you've shown. It fosters a mindset of self-compassion where you acknowledge your strengths and achievements without feeling the need for perfection. This gratitude for your own progress helps you to build confidence, trust in your abilities, and a sense of accomplishment that carries over into future challenges. Celebrating small wins also contributes to a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction that can sustain you during tougher times. When you're working toward long-term goals, it's easy to lose sight of your progress, especially when setbacks or delays occur. However, small wins act as tangible evidence of the effort you've invested in the progress you've made. Even on days when things don't go according to plan, recognizing these wins provides a sense of reassurance that you're moving in the right direction. This reassurance helps you to stay grounded and focused, knowing that every effort counts, no matter how small it seems in the moment. Additionally, celebrating small wins strengthens your resilience. It reinforces the idea that every challenge, no matter how difficult, can be met with progress. Each small win demonstrates that obstacles are not roadblocks, but opportunities to grow. When you encounter setbacks, celebrating your progress helps you bounce back more quickly because you recognize that setbacks are just part of the journey. You learn to embrace challenges as part of the process rather than being discouraged by them. This resilience comes from acknowledging that even in the face of difficulty, there is always a win to celebrate. Celebrating small wins also provides a powerful boost to your sense of purpose and motivation. The act of recognizing progress reminds you why you started in the first place. It reignites your passion for your goals and reminds you of the bigger picture. When you celebrate small wins, you stay connected to your purpose because you see how your daily efforts are contributing to your long-term vision. This connection to purpose helps you stay focused and committed even when the going gets tough. Another benefit of celebrating small wins is that it encourages a sense of joy and fulfillment along the way. It's easy to get so caught up in striving for the next big goal that you forget to enjoy the process. By taking the time to celebrate small wins, you introduce moments of joy and satisfaction into your daily life. These celebrations, no matter how small, create a positive and uplifting experience, where the journey itself becomes just as rewarding as the destination. This sense of fulfillment keeps you motivated and engaged because you learn to appreciate the present moment rather than waiting for some distant future to bring happiness. Celebrating small wins also promotes a culture of progress and growth. When you take the time to recognize and share your successes, you inspire those around you to do the same. It fosters an environment where progress is valued and achievements are celebrated. This culture of recognition and celebration creates a supportive atmosphere where everyone is motivated to keep striving for their own small wins, contributing to a collective sense of achievement and growth. This culture has spent the last decade turning people's lives into 10 million memos, calling on the biggest leaps forward in leadership. Ultimately, celebrating small wins is a powerful practice that helps to cultivate a positive, growth-oriented mindset. By recognizing the value of every step forward, no matter how small, you build momentum, strengthen your resilience, and stay connected to your purpose. These small victories accumulate over time, helping you make meaningful progress toward your goals while fostering a sense of accomplishment and joy along the way. In conclusion, the journey toward improvement and success is built on a foundation of consistent effort, continuous learning, and a mindset focused on progress rather than perfection. By embracing the idea that every small step forward counts, you empower yourself to keep moving, even in the face of challenges. Progress, not perfection, is what leads to sustainable growth. And by celebrating each small win along the way, you create momentum that propels you closer to your ultimate goals. Remember, it's not about reaching a perfect destination, but about the growth, learning, and resilience that develop as you move toward it. So, commit to the process, measure your progress, seek feedback, embrace discomfort, and celebrate every achievement, no matter how small. Your journey is a series of steps, each one significant in shaping the person you are becoming. Keep going, keep improving, and trust that every effort you make is taking you one step closer to the success you desire.